Right then. Okay, I just thought I'd do an update on where I am with the various sort of issues that I've got at the moment with the coins. So I got arrested, didn't I, in July, and they investigated whether or not I had committed a crime. The police were emailing the Royal Mint to find out if the coins were legitimate. We're talking about the £100 coin, the £50 coin, the £20 coin. They seized one of each of those coins off of me. Um, Tesco, they kept on applying to Tesco's to ask if they Tesco wanted to prosecute me on behalf of Tesco's, but Tesco's seemed to decline to want to have me prosecuted. I think it might be because they gave me like a warning and told me that they didn't want to accept the coins, and I thought that I'd better not do it again until it gets sort of like resolved one way or another through the police. So I paid for the fuel. So I can't really see how they could prosecute me for making off without payment when I hadn't made off. I was offering legal tender payment in the form of the £100 coin, and I was actually arrested and taken away from the petrol station. So I didn't make off on my own accord, did I? I was abducted effectively by the police from the forecourt, and I went back the next day and paid. Well, I tried to pay the next day actually, and they refused to accept payment, and they said that they want to send me a letter, and they want me to read the letter before I come back and pay, which I thought was a bit odd. I think the letter said that they're no longer going to accept those coins. So I went back the day after that and paid with my debit card. So they didn't really have any grounds to prosecute me, because I don't think I'd actually done anything wrong. Well, I don't think I'd done anything wrong anyway, because they agreed to accept those £100 coins, and I've got a letter proving that. So anyway, the police spent quite a long time investigating it, asking what I thought was pretty stupid questions, like asking the Royal Mint if the coins are legitimate, and things like that. And that sort of like information's all in legislation that's easily available to them. But they put like a simple PC on the case to investigate it, when surely they got a financial department that they could have asked to investigate it, who might have come up with the right answer. But in the end, the police sent me a letter saying that they're not going to prosecute me. They don't think it's in the public interest. They haven't got a victim because Tesco didn't want me to be prosecuted, and but they say they do believe I committed the crime of bilking, or like making off without payment. So that annoyed me, because if you remember in the video when I got arrested, the policeman said that he's not prosecuting me. It's not for him to decide whether I've committed a crime or not. He just suspects I may have done, and it's for the court to decide whether or not I've committed the crime. So to get sent a letter by the police saying that they believe I've committed the crime, but they're not going to prosecute me for it, I find that quite offensive, really, because I don't think I have committed a crime. How can I possibly have committed a crime of spending cash? The definition of cash is coins and notes that are legal tender. That coin is legal tender. It's proclaimed to be legal tender by the Queen. It's on the Royal Mint's website as being legal tender. And yet, when I tried to spend it, I've been arrested for it. So, well, there it is. So I got this letter the other day saying that they're not going to prosecute me. And I thought, well, I'll go out and see how I get on, with a £20 coin. So I went to a Shell garage and filled up a jerry can. I was walking, and I paid with a £20 coin. It's about £23 or something. I thought, if they want to dispute it and they don't want to accept the £20, well, they can take the fuel back, can't they? I can pour it into. They've got some cans of their own. They can have their fuel back, and we can sort of like call it quits. And also, because I'm walking, I don't have to give any details, do I? I don't have to have prove my driving license or ID if requested to do so. So anyway, but that works out all right. And And then today I went to a BP garage and I noticed they had a big sign up saying of all the different payment methods they take. And at the bottom of the list was that they accept cash. Well, the definition of cash, or one of the definitions of cash, is coins and notes that are legal tender. So there's no dispute that the £100 coin is legal tender, so therefore it's cash. So I filled up £100, went in there, plonked the coin on the counter with a nice clack. They make a nice noise, I think, when they go down. And but the lady just believed me that it was £100, which, you know, she'd never seen one before. But she seemed to be happy to accept it. So I filled up my car with fuel. I've still got another one to fill up though. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. I spoke to a policeman as well yesterday. These videos are all on my channel, you know, recent videos. I had quite an interesting conversation with him before I started recording. And for some reason, my phone only records 10 minutes before it shuts down. I don't know why that is. So if anyone can help me with that, I can't work out how to stop it doing that. I suspect it might be because there's no movement detected. So anyway, I had a good chat with him. He said he believed it was just a civil dispute and it wasn't a police matter. I think that's the right answer. I don't even think it's a civil dispute. They could dispute it in a civil court, but I believe that I'd win because, well, if you offer goods and services to someone, then you can't dispute that you haven't been paid if someone's offered to pay in legal tender. If they offer to pay in Scottish notes or debit card or credit card, you say, look, I don't accept those, but I do accept cash. But you can't say I don't accept cash. Now, people might argue with me over that, but it's all about whether you owe the money or not. The point is, with legal tender, is that if you owe someone money and you offer to pay in legal tender, you can't be prosecuted for non-payment. Another definition of it is that you can't get into trouble for not paying if you've offered to pay in legal tender. Well, obviously, that should be the case. But I mean, I got into trouble by being arrested, didn't I, for offering to pay with legal tender. Now, I do this because, well, it annoys me that it seems such a blatant contradiction that the Royal Mint should make coins which have a face value of £100 that are legal tender, and then they tell the banks and the shops not to accept them, advise them not to accept them, say you can accept them if you like, but we wouldn't advise it. You know, so they kind of like sabotage the ability to be able to spend them. So I think it's quite an interesting dispute, and I can't see how it will ever really come to an end. And I think the petrol stations would have to change the way the pumps dispense the fuel. You'd have to go in and sort of like pay £70 or something, and then go back out and fill up your car. And if you only can get 65 in, then you'd end up having to go back in to get your £5 change or something like that. I think that's how it works in America. But even if that was the case, there's plenty of other avenues. So another thing that I've been doing is, you know, I owe Barclays Bank, I think it's about £9,000. And I went in and offered to pay off the full amount with these coins, and they refused to accept them, and threatened to phone the police because I was filming. So I got it in an email exchange where they clarify that under no circumstances will they accept those coins in payment of the credit card debt. Now, I think that negates the credit card debt. It certainly means they've breached the contract to the agreement. The agreement being that I pay the debt off or I pay the minimum payment, right? Obviously, their side of the agreement is that they need to accept the money. Can't hold somebody in perpetual debt by refusing to accept payment of the debt, can they? That would be unlawful, and that's the whole point of legal tender. That if you owe someone money, you can free yourself of the debt by giving them that legal tender. They don't have to accept the legal tender, but nonetheless, it negates the debt. So I've contacted the Financial Ombudsman about that, and they're investigating it. So I think that would be quite an interesting. I think that'd be quite interesting. The outcome of that. I see my video's gone over 10 minutes, so could be the stationary thing. You know, the fact that the camera was stationary. Anyway, so I've got a few sort of irons in the fire with the subject. It'd be quite interesting to see what happens with the Financial Ombudsman and Barclays. I can't see the worst case scenario on that could be that I might end up having to pay interest on the debt. And then, of course, keep doing the coin thing. I might get arrested again, but I think it would be an unlawful arrest. I'm hoping that there'll be a note on the police database saying that this is a civil matter. It's not that he's not paying. It's just that they don't want to accept that form of payment. You know. See, another thing that annoys me about it is, you know, the coin has got the Queen's head on it. It's legal tender proclaimed by the Queen to be of the value of £100. And the police have sworn an oath to the Queen and to be fair and impartial. I believe that taking the sides of the corporations because you're doing something that's unusual isn't being fair and impartial. And also, how can you be loyal to the Queen and serving her faithfully when you're encouraging people not to use the Queen's money, but rather to use bank credits and supporting the corporations rather than the institution of the monarchy, which is what they've sworn an oath to. So there's lots of contradictions in there, and I think it's quite interesting to keep exploring it and see where it goes. Anyway, I hope you find this update interesting. If you've got any questions, let me know and I'll see if I can answer them. All right, cheers then.